On July 11, 2004, Britney's life took an unexpected turn. After an argument with her boyfriend, John Fitzgerald, and a worrying conversation with her mother, Britney left her house, got into Anthony Gager's car, and vanished. The burning question is, who is Anthony Gager? Is he a relative? A friend? Watch until the end to find out.
Here is where our story begins, with the birth of a girl named Britney Gregory in 1988.
Britney came into the world as the youngest of 5 siblings. Being the youngest meant she had 4 older siblings to play with, learn from, and sometimes argue with. But above all, it meant she was surrounded by love and protection, like a small rosebud in an already blooming garden. Britney's family life, however, was not without its challenges. When her parents decided to go their separate ways, Britney and her siblings went to live with their father. Changes like this can be difficult for any child, but Britney was strong. She found comfort and support in a very special bond with her sister Briana. Briana, 4 years older than Britney, wasn't just a sister, she was Britney's best friend. Together, they embarked on adventures, like backyard explorers and secret confessors in the dark of night. They laughed together at jokes only sisters could understand and supported each other through tough times. This bond was like a hidden treasure, a safe haven where Britney could always find shelter. The relationship between Britney and Briana was a perfect example of sibling camaraderie, a connection that transcended everyday difficulties. In a small town like Brick, where everyone knew each other, this sisterhood shone like a star in the night sky, a constant reminder that even in times of change, love and true friendship can guide us. As Britney grew up, her story was just beginning to unfold, promising to be as dynamic and engaging as life itself in Brick.
Do you want to find out how the story of Britney and Briana continues and what adventures await them in the charming town of Brick?
Don't miss the unfolding of this exciting journey of sisterhood and overcoming challenges. Subscribe to our channel now and follow each chapter of this dramatic story. In a typical classroom in Brick, New Jersey, with desks lined up and a large blackboard at the front, something special was happening. While most children daydreamed, doodled in their notebooks, or gazed out the window, there was one student who stood out. Her name was Britney Gregory, and she was not just another student, she was a true rising star. Britney had a sparkle in her eyes that teachers noticed immediately. She was always attentive, absorbing every word her teachers said, like a sponge that was never satisfied. She had an insatiable thirst for knowledge that was hard to ignore. When tests came around, Britney was ready.
And it was no surprise to anyone when her grades were the best in the class.
Teachers often commented among themselves, "This girl is going places." And they knew they were witnessing someone truly special. But there was something even more fascinating about Britney. While many of her peers dreamed of becoming astronauts, rock stars, or even superheroes, Britney had a dream that stood out. She wanted to work with the police, investigating crime scenes.
Imagine a young girl with a love for mysteries and a burning desire to help find answers.
She dreamed of being that detective you see in movies, who finds clues and solves the most complicated mysteries. Despite all her talent and dedication, Britney was incredibly humble. She never let her achievements lift her above others. Instead, she used her skills to help her friends with homework, always willing to explain a complicated equation or discuss a difficult chapter in history. Britney was adored by everyone, not just for being an exceptional student, but for being a loyal and generous friend. In the year 2004, Britney Gregory's life was in a phase of transition. She lived with her father, her sister Briana, and Lori Peterson, her father's new partner. The Gregory family home was situated in a peculiar spot in Brick, New Jersey. It was the last house on a quiet street, nestled near a wooded area that offered an air of serenity and, at the same time, a touch of isolation. This proximity to the woods gave the house a sense of tranquility, as if it were in harmony with the surrounding nature. The tall trees and dense vegetation created a fascinating setting, perfect for peaceful walks and moments of meditation. However, it also meant that the family lived a bit away from the hustle and bustle of the city, which could be both a blessing and a challenge. The family dynamics were changing with the presence of Lori Peterson. Lori, with her unique personality, brought new perspectives and challenges to the daily life of the house. Adapting to a new maternal figure was not an easy task, but Britney, with her open heart and curious mind, was willing to find her place in this new family arrangement.
The household routine was a mix of school activities, where Britney excelled as always, and family moments that varied between laughter and discussions, like in any family. There were dinners where everyone gathered around the table,
sharing stories of the day, and also those moments of tension when different personalities and expectations clashed.
Living with Lori brought its own complexities. There was a need to create new traditions, respect the old ones, and find a balance between the two.
Britney and Briana, united as always, navigated these waters together, seeking to maintain the harmony and love that had always characterized their relationship. Imagine a young couple, always hand in hand, walking through sunny parks, exchanging smiles and secrets. Britney and John formed a pair that everyone admired, seeming to have found that rare connection that many seek their entire lives. Together for almost 2 years, Britney and John were more than just boyfriend and girlfriend. They were companions who shared dreams and hopes. Britney's family approved of John, seeing him as a positive and loving presence in her life. He was welcomed with open arms at family dinners and more intimate gatherings, being considered a good influence on Britney. However, as in many relationships, not everything was always perfect. There were moments of tension and misunderstandings, small storms that arose on the horizon of a young love. These discussions were normal, the result of closeness and intense emotions that came with youth. They argued about simple things, like choosing a movie or what to do over the weekend, but also about more complex issues that tested their compatibility. In the weeks leading up to Britney's disappearance, the relationship went through a period of turbulence. The arguments became more frequent, and what were once just minor disagreements now seemed to gain more weight. Friends noticed that Britney was more thoughtful, perhaps worried about the direction things were taking. Despite the difficulties, Britney's affection for John did not diminish. She still believed in the love they shared and was determined to overcome the challenges. Britney wanted everything to be okay, wishing to find a way to restore the harmony that had once defined their relationship. It was a hot summer Sunday, July 11, 2004, when something unexpected and unsettling began to unfold in Britney Gregory's life. The day started like any other, but soon took a different turn when Britney called her mother. In that conversation, there was something in Britney's voice that caught her mother's attention, a note of concern that was not normally present. Britney wanted her mother to take her to see John, her boyfriend, as if it were urgent or important. Unfortunately, Britney's mother was away at the time and couldn't fulfill the request immediately. She suggested that Briana, her sister and confidant, could pick her up within an hour. Britney accepted the suggestion, and everything seemed settled for the moment. However, when Briana tried to call Britney later, the call went unanswered. Initially, Briana wasn't too worried. Maybe Britney was tired and had already gone to sleep, she thought. After all, it was a Sunday night, and who doesn't like to rest a little earlier? But it was the next morning that the situation began to seem really concerning. Briana noticed that Britney's room was empty. The bed still made seemed unused. Stranger still was the fact that all of Britney's things, including her phone, were still there. Britney was known for never leaving without notifying, and certainly never without her phone, an extension of her young hand. Briana's heart began to tighten with growing concern. She tried to contact Britney's friends, hoping that someone knew something. Maybe Britney had left early to meet John or a friend. But, one by one, they all responded that they didn't know where she was. There was no sign of Britney, as if she had vanished into thin air. The unease turned into alarm. Briana knew something was wrong and decided it was time to act. She went to the police to report her sister's disappearance. This decision marked the beginning of an agonizing search, an effort to find Britney and bring answers to her family and community, who were now plunged into an unsettling mystery. When Briana arrived at the police station to report the mysterious disappearance of her sister Britney, she was heavy-hearted with worry. However, upon hearing her story, the officers initially did not show much alarm. To them, it seemed possible that Britney, like many teenagers, had simply decided to spend some time alone or was with friends without notifying anyone. After all, adolescence is a phase of seeking independence and personal space. But Briana knew her sister better than anyone. She was convinced that something was seriously wrong. Britney was attached to her belongings, especially her phone and money, items she would never leave behind without a good reason. The absence of these essential items in her room was a clear sign to Briana that something was out of the ordinary. Persistent, Briana explained to the police that she had already contacted all of Britney's friends, as well as her boyfriend, John, and no one had heard from her. The lack of information from everyone who knew Britney only increased the feeling that something more sinister was going on. Briana knew that time was crucial and tried to convey this urgency to the officers. With the details presented by Briana, the police began to reconsider the situation. Her insistence, combined with the fact that Britney was not a troubled teenager or prone to running away, led the officers to take the case more seriously. They then decided to initiate a formal search for Britney, recognizing that every moment was precious.
The investigation began with a thorough search of the family home. Officers examined Britney's room for clues, anything that could shed light on her whereabouts. They also started talking to family members, friends, and neighbors, trying to piece together this distressing puzzle. The once tranquil town of Brick was now gripped by a sense of tension and concern as the search for Britney Gregory gained momentum. The community, united by the desire to find the missing young woman, eagerly awaited answers that could bring Britney back home. The investigation into Britney Gregory's disappearance began with a careful analysis of her immediate surroundings. Her own home. When the police arrived at the Gregory family residence, they were looking for any clues that might indicate what had happened. The house, nestled in the quiet town of Brick, seemed peaceful, but the mystery lurked within its silent rooms. Inside the house, investigators searched for signs of a struggle or anything unusual that might suggest an incident. However, what they found was, paradoxically, even more disconcerting. All of Britney's personal belongings were in place. Her purse, her phone, and her wallet. These items, essential to any teenager's daily life, were silent witnesses to her inexplicable absence. The fact that they were all there made Britney's disappearance even more mysterious and unsettling. The next step was to talk to the residents of the house. Investigators spoke with Britney's father, her sister Briana, and Lori Peterson, the father's partner. Each of them provided consistent accounts of their activities on the night Britney disappeared. All had confirmed alibis, supported by evidence of where they were and what they were doing at that crucial time. This meant that, at least at first glance, there were no immediate suspicions falling on them. With the house and family members not providing clues about Britney's whereabouts, the police knew they needed to expand their investigation beyond the family circle. The search became more complex, requiring investigators to explore other aspects of Britney's life, such as her friendships, her relationship with John Fitzgerald, and any other connections that might offer a glimpse of what might have happened. With the mystery of Britney Gregory's disappearance still enveloping the quiet town of Brick, the police knew they needed to look more closely at the people closest to her. Naturally, John Fitzgerald, Britney's boyfriend, became the focus of their attention. He was invited to the station for a clarifying conversation, a crucial step in the search for answers. In the formal setting of the police station, John was cooperative during the interrogation. He revealed that the last time he had spoken to Britney was over the phone, on the fateful morning of her disappearance. In that conversation, there was an argument, something that, unfortunately, had become more frequent in recent times. However, John stated that they did not meet that day, leaving a series of questions about what might have happened afterward. John also shared a significant detail. He had ended the relationship with Britney a few days before her disappearance. This revelation added a layer of complexity to the case, as Britney was having difficulty coping with the breakup. The end of a relationship, especially one that lasted almost 2 years, can be emotionally tumultuous, and the police considered how this might have influenced Britney's actions in the following days. Despite the recent tensions, John seemed genuinely concerned about Britney's disappearance. His concern was assessed not only by his words but also by concrete actions. He agreed to undergo a lie detector test, a procedure that could help clarify any doubts about his involvement. John passed the test without issues, leading the police to believe he was telling the truth about his lack of involvement in Britney's disappearance. With the test results and the absence of concrete evidence against him, John was removed from the immediate circle of suspects. However, the police continued to explore all possibilities, determined to find Britney and understand what really happened on that unsettling day. Meanwhile, the community remained on high alert, with everyone eager for news that could bring Britney back home. The case, with its emotional twists and turns, continued to captivate and concern everyone as the investigations proceeded. As the investigations into Britney Gregory's disappearance deepened, the police began to uncover layers of her life that surprised even her closest family members. Although Britney was seen as a dedicated and responsible young woman, new details began to emerge, painting a more complex picture of her social life. Investigators discovered that Britney had a habit of attending parties and regularly meeting with friends, activities that went beyond what her family knew. These parties were a part of her life that she kept secret, perhaps to preserve the image of the exemplary daughter that her parents and sister had of her. This revelation brought to light the idea that Britney was exploring the world around her with curiosity and a desire for independence.
A particularly intriguing detail was Britney's habit of crossing the woods behind her house. This path, which seemed just a serene part of the natural scenery around her home, was actually a route Britney used to meet John, her boyfriend. It was a shortcut that symbolized both her quest for freedom and her ability to keep aspects of her life private and separate from her family. These discoveries changed the direction of the investigation. Now, investigators considered the possibility that Britney might have become involved in something unexpected or possibly dangerous on the night of her disappearance. The idea gained strength as they pondered what else might be hidden beneath the surface of her seemingly quiet life. With this new information, the vision of Britney as a young woman leading a double life began to form. She was a teenager balancing her responsibilities with the desire to explore and experience new things. This understanding added a layer of complexity to the search for answers, as the police continued to follow every possible lead to bring Britney back home. The town of Brick, a community that once saw Britney only as the brilliant student and caring sister, now found itself united in a renewed effort to solve the mystery of her disappearance, with everyone hopeful for a positive outcome. And you, what do you think might have happened to Britney on that mysterious night? We are curious to know your theories and opinions on this story full of twists. Leave your comment below. During the investigations into Britney Gregory's disappearance, a lead emerged that could change the course of the case. A witness, whose identity was kept confidential for their protection, reported seeing something unusual on the night Britney disappeared. A suspicious vehicle, a Chevrolet Avalanche, was spotted near Britney's house. This type of truck was not common in the quiet neighborhood of Brick, and its appearance immediately raised suspicions among investigators. With this new information, the police redoubled their efforts, focusing their attention on tracking similar vehicles in the area. The precise description given by the witness became a focal point in the search for answers. It was then that the name Anthony Gager emerged on the authorities' radar. Anthony Gager was a man known in the community, someone many had seen, but few really knew well. He owned a Chevrolet Avalanche identical to the one described by the witness, which put him under the investigators' watchful eye. Moreover, rumors began to circulate about the unusual interest Anthony showed in Britney. This interest, which he did not bother to hide, now seemed more sinister in light of her disappearance. The police, recognizing the importance of this connection, began to delve deeper into Anthony's life. They examined his activities on the night Britney disappeared, looking for alibis, witnesses, and anything that could link him to the case. Conversations with neighbors and people close to Anthony were conducted, trying to better understand his behavior and any possible connection to Britney. As the days passed, the community of Brick remained in a state of expectation and apprehension. The presence of a new suspect reignited hopes and fears, with everyone eager for a breakthrough that could finally clarify what happened to Britney during those critical hours of her last known night. This renewed focus on the investigation brought new energy to the case, as the police worked tirelessly to piece together the puzzle and bring Britney back home, fueling the hope of an entire town waiting for answers. After an exhaustive investigation, which mobilized significant resources and the fervent support of the Brick community, the mystery of Britney Gregory's disappearance reached a difficult conclusion. The police, working tirelessly, finally uncovered what had happened that fateful night. The discovery, though tragic, brought necessary closure to her family and friends. Britney's body was found in a remote area, not far from where she had disappeared. The location, isolated and difficult to access, had kept the dark secret until the combined efforts of authorities and the community revealed the truth. The news of her discovery was a devastating blow to all who knew and loved her, turning hope into sorrow. The meticulous investigation revealed that Anthony Gager, the man who had raised suspicions with his vehicle and behavior, was directly involved in Britney's disappearance and death. The evidence against him was overwhelming, including forensic evidence and testimonies that could not be ignored. The police managed to piece together the puzzle, tracing a direct line of events that led to Britney's tragic end. With the evidence in hand, Anthony Gager was formally charged and brought to trial. The judicial process was closely followed by the community, which longed for justice for Britney. During the trial, painful details emerged, shedding light on the motives and circumstances that led to this terrible act. Anthony's conviction brought a sense of justice, but it did not lessen the pain of the loss. The case of Britney Gregory served as a grim reminder of the importance of vigilance and support within communities. Her story, marked by her vibrant life and tragic disappearance, deeply touched all who heard it. It left an indelible mark on the Brick community, reminding everyone of the fragility of life and the need to care for one another. Britney's memory continues to live on in the hearts of those who loved her, serving as a beacon of hope and a call to action to ensure that such tragedies are prevented in the future. The disappearance and tragic discovery of Britney Gregory's fate left an indelible mark on the Brick, New Jersey community. Initially, uncertainty and anguish dominated the local scene. Families, friends, and even strangers united in a desperate search for answers, creating a chain of solidarity and hope manifested in emotional vigils and community events. These gatherings not only kept the hope of finding Britney alive, but also served as a reminder of the power of collective support in times of adversity. With the resolution of the case and the painful revelation of what had occurred, the community entered a period of deep mourning and reflection. The reality of Britney's loss was a blow to everyone, but it also served as a catalyst for significant changes. The incident highlighted the vital need to be attentive to warning signs, especially among young people, and reinforced the importance of maintaining open and honest lines of communication between them and their families. The tragedy also sparked a new awareness about personal safety and community protection. This led to the implementation of local initiatives aimed at making neighborhoods safer. Community watch programs were established, and educational safety talks were organized in schools and community centers. These efforts aimed to create an environment where everyone, especially young people, could live without fear. Moreover, Britney's story inspired awareness campaigns about the risks faced by young people in modern society. Local organizations began to promote more effective support networks, highlighting the importance of providing resources and assistance to those in need. These campaigns not only honored Britney's memory but also sought to prevent such tragedies from occurring again. Even amidst the tragedy, the community found ways to strengthen itself and promote positive change. Britney Gregory's story, though marked by pain, became a beacon of hope and action for many, reminding everyone of the importance of caring for one another and the human capacity to unite in pursuit of a better and safer future. If this story touched you as much as it did us, don't forget to show your support by clicking like. Britney Gregory's story, though marked by deep tragedy, gave rise to a wave of positive transformation that extends far beyond her disappearance and death. In a demonstration of resilience and love, her family, friends, and the Brick community joined forces to ensure her legacy served as a catalyst for change. One of the main initiatives in memory of Britney was the creation of educational programs in local schools. These programs were carefully designed to address critical issues such as personal safety, the importance of recognizing and maintaining healthy relationships, and the vital need for open communication with family and friends. Through interactive workshops and discussion sessions, young people are encouraged to share their experiences and concerns, creating an environment of mutual support and continuous learning. In parallel, the foundation established in Britney's name became a powerful force in the fight against child disappearance. Dedicated to providing invaluable support to families in times of crisis, the foundation also funds resources for investigations in cases similar to Britney's. This support can include anything from hiring experts to acquiring advanced technology to assist in searches. Every year, the foundation organizes awareness and fundraising events that bring the community together around a common cause. These events not only celebrate Britney's life but also reinforce the ongoing commitment to protect other young people and support families in need. Participants of all ages engage in activities ranging from charity runs to community fairs, each designed to promote awareness and raise funds for the foundation's mission. The positive impact of these initiatives goes beyond the borders of Brick, serving as an inspiring model for other communities. Britney Gregory's legacy now acts as a beacon of hope and resilience, illuminating the path for actions that seek to prevent similar tragedies and strengthen community bonds. Her story continues to inspire and motivate many to unite for a safer and more compassionate future for all young people. The case of Britney Gregory remains a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the vital importance of caring for one another. Her story, though tragic, illuminated the flaws that can exist in security and communication systems, serving as a catalyst for positive and lasting changes within her community. As the community reflects on Britney's case, crucial lessons continue to resonate. One of them is the continuous need to establish open and honest dialogue between young people and adults. Promoting frank conversations about challenges, concerns, and hopes is essential to building a solid support network that can prevent future tragedies. Furthermore, Britney's story underscores the importance of being attentive to warning signs in relationships. Teaching young people and adults to recognize and act on concerning behaviors is a collective responsibility, crucial to ensuring that everyone can live in safe and healthy environments. These lessons are now an integral part of the educational programs implemented in her memory. Britney's tragedy also highlighted the strength of community support and resilience in times of crisis. The way the Brick community came together, not only to search for Britney but also to support her family and create a lasting legacy, exemplifies the power of the collective to transform pain into progress and hope. Although the pain of Britney's loss will never completely disappear, remembering her life and learning from her story allows the community to work to ensure her legacy continues to inspire and protect future generations. By honoring her memory, BRIC not only pays tribute to Britney but also commits to building a safer and more compassionate world for all. Britney Gregory's story is a beacon of awareness and compassion, reminding us of the importance of vigilance, love, and continuous connection in our daily lives. Britney Gregory's case stands out as a powerful reminder of the fragility of life and the vital need to care for one another. Her story, though tragic, revealed potential flaws in security and communication systems, becoming a catalyst for significant changes in her community. These changes aim to ensure that similar tragedies are avoided in the future, creating a safer and more protective environment for everyone. Reflections and lessons learned. The final reflections on Britney's case highlight the importance of maintaining open and continuous dialogue between young people and adults. This dialogue is essential to building trust and ensuring that young people feel comfortable sharing their concerns and challenges. Additionally, being attentive to warning signs in relationships can prevent dangerous situations, emphasizing the shared responsibility of creating safe and welcoming environments. Britney's tragedy also emphasized the strength of community support and resilience that emerges in times of crisis. The BRIC community demonstrated a spirit of unity and determination, proving that even in the face of adversity, it is possible to promote positive and lasting changes. Prevention and education initiatives. In response to the impact of Britney's case, several initiatives have been implemented to increase awareness and provide resources for both young people and adults. Educational programs in schools. Personal safety curriculum. Local schools have adopted programs that teach fundamental personal safety skills. Students learn to recognize danger signs and seek help effectively, empowering them to protect themselves in various situations. Communication workshops. Interactive workshops are held between parents and children, promoting open and honest communication. These sessions teach strategies for managing conflicts in a healthy and constructive manner, strengthening family bonds. Community involvement. Awareness vigils. Community events are regularly organized to honor Britney's memory and educate the community on safety issues. These gatherings serve as platforms to share vital information and reinforce the community spirit. Social media campaigns. Online campaigns aim to disseminate information about safety and support networks, reaching a broader and more diverse audience. These campaigns leverage the power of social media to educate and raise awareness, involving everyone in the mission of community protection. Resources for family support lines. Dedicated support lines have been established to offer assistance to families of missing children and at-risk youth. These resources provide emotional and practical support, helping families navigate difficult situations. Partnerships with organizations. Collaborations with non-profit organizations help provide additional resources and ongoing support for initiatives related to child safety. These partnerships are essential for the maintenance and expansion of community protection efforts. A legacy of protection and education. These initiatives not only honor Britney Gregory's memory but also ensure that her legacy continues to protect and educate others. By transforming pain into action, the BRIC community demonstrates that even in the midst of tragedy, it is possible to find hope and promote a safer future for all.